Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Yadira. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, it is more so for me to be honest with myself, and I would like to be a little bit more financially strict with myself, and particularly in the area of makeup. I think we can all sort of agree that we like to spend our money in certain categories, whether that be like a vacation or if you just like to treat yourself on like your hair, nail, spa, your self-care kind of category, or if it is your luxury category. Like, our money goes to certain different buckets, and my fun money is something that I would like to pay more close attention to. And I'm not saying I'm gonna do a no buy or low buy year. I just want to be more mindful of what I am consuming and know that I don't have to buy and run out, like that FOMO thing, right? Like, there's always gonna be something available to purchase, whether it's a new release or the new it item that is always going to grab people's attention and in turn yours. Well, at least that's how I kind of work. I'm gonna put some timestamps down below as I go through categories in case one resonates with you a little bit better than the entire video. So do check that out if you just want to skip through. But I wanted to start off with a category that I don't really talk about in my channel, primarily like beauty and luxury, and that's kind of what I base my channel on. Like, those are my main interests, and that's what I like to share and consume on my free time, right? Like, YouTube is a hobby for me and it's not a job, so only whenever I am available I will sit and record a video and then edit whenever I have free time and put it out there. A realization for me personally is that I spend so much time on a screen, whether that is through work. I do have a desk job, so obviously my entire job is stationary and I must engage with a computer screen, right? So that is exposure minimum of 8 hours Monday through Friday of a blue screen. Once I am done with work for the remainder of the day, I'm not on my phone for that entire time. I mean, obviously there is chores, there's dinner, there's laundry, and life, but on the free moments I am using my phone. I'm either online shopping, not necessarily buying, but more so browsing, I guess online browsing, and also on Instagram, or I spend a lot of my time on YouTube watching other creators from many different genres, whether that is tech, travel, makeup, luxury, home decor, food. Like, I have so many different interests, and I do spend a lot of my free time watching YouTube the most out of every social platform. That is where I engage a lot. So there is additional hours in the day that I am on another screen, my cell phone. And if I am doing something like washing dishes, I put on a TV show, like something on Hulu or Netflix or whatever is on live TV, and I'm watching it. Or sometimes I'll just prop my phone in the counter and watch either like a shopping live or an actual show through, like Hulu or Netflix app, or also YouTube or a podcast, whatever. Additional time that I am on my phone or on a screen, I should say. So in 2025, I want to reduce that as much as possible. And I already know that my 8 hours a day of my work, that's a non-negotiable for me. So that blue screen time is a must. But all the other hours of the day, so 8 for sleeping, 8 for working, that's 16. The day has 24, so that's an additional 8 hours where I can be productive, or I can do something that does not involve technology. And I already said that on my free time I like to do YouTube consists of editing and being behind a computer screen once more. So for one, I need to make shorter videos so that I can edit much faster and have that out and reduce my time from that perspective. But for 2025, what I really want to do is just exercise my mind a little bit more, because through, the mindless scrolling on the phone, there's no education happening there. And yes, I'm probably learning something, like learning how to cook something or learning about, the stock market or something. Like, it's new information that I am learning, but I'm not so much like retaining, you know what I mean? Like, it's just for the moment and it's not for, a long-term use. Like, there's so much content out in the social media basically that it can fog your brain. So I want to do more reading, not on the phone, not at work, but a physical book. I do own a Kindle, and I do have a book that I am working through on my Kindle. I guess I can open it just in case you are wondering. I am currently reading the book called The Cure by K.A. Riley. That is what I have on my Kindle. I feel like even though you can adjust the settings for it to be more, friendly according to you reading in the darkness or in a light room, so it's supposed to be more eye friendly, but it is probably just me being paranoid, but I just feel like it's too much vivid color for my eye in a given day. I already started implementing my do something more productive after work, free time, fill in the blank, whatever you want to call it. I did go to Barnes & Noble and I picked up 2 books. The first book that I picked up is a very old classic book that I actually did have before, possibly like in high school or maybe middle school, that I didn't read at the time because I thought that it was scary. And now being an adult, I feel like I am mature enough to read it and possibly even understand it or realize it. And it is actually a controversial book, but nonetheless, I am reading it. It is 1984 by George Orwell. Supposedly this is banned in a lot of different libraries and I'm not sure if in countries, but I was able to pick this up from Barnes & Noble and I already started reading it. So I guess with the books I'm going to show you, you're going to probably notice a theme. So I'm going to call this my November book, just because 2024 was election year in the US and it was just politic heavy, and supposedly this book touches on that. So I picked up that book, and then I guess you can say this is my October read, but even though it's not October and it's not November, I want to target 1 book a month, and I know I'm starting late because given the little categories that I'm categorizing under, but I still wanted to have something to enjoy. So I did get a book that would be my scary book, and that is Wicked. This edition does have 2 different books from the author, Gregory Maguire, and the second book is Son of the Witch, if you can see that right there, and the book cover for that is on the back. So it is hefty and it is a pretty book, and I thought, Wicked is such a classic story that I'm like, it'll be nice to have it in this special edition covering. I didn't want to get the 2024 Wicked covering of the movie adaptation because it's not as classic as just this. So this is the other book that I got, and I'm only classifying it between, months, because I just put the realization after I made the purchase, like, oh, this can be this sort of theme and whatnots. And so these 2 are the only books that I recently added to my collection because I already had some books that I had purchased and they were just sitting there. I mean, I often just opt for scrolling through my phone rather than picking up a book and actually exercising my brain and doing something good for myself. But this is a book I already had. This is Meet Cute by Elena Hunting, and I haven't opened it or started reading it. This is supposed to be a little cute romance novel that is supposed to be a short read, and this is what I am classifying as my February read. I didn't get one that is like a winter, December, January sort of book, so I'm gonna try to just stick whatever I have in there. And if you do like reading and you do have a good holidays, Christmas, December, winter, January sort of book category that you love and you would like to recommend, please let me know what that is down below so I can check it out. The other one is You Will Be Mine, and this is Natasha Preston, and this one is supposed to be a little bit darker but still sort of like a romantic tragedy, I guess. I don't know too much about it. I actually picked this up blindly. Actually, I picked up both of these blindly at Barnes & Noble whenever I did buy them many moons ago, and so I guess this could be my January read. I don't know. I'm targeting to doing 1 book a month because I am not a fast reader, but hopefully with me eliminating distractions, I can do 2. So we shall see how that goes. And the other book that I already had in my collection that I got so long ago and I just haven't read it is An Anonymous Girl. This was such a popular book, and whenever I purchased this book, I wasn't in a good headspace to even read this. I guess I was more like in the sad stage, so that I didn't really want to, even start with it. Like, it kind of looked a little bit like mysterious and scary and like a little bit tragic, so I just stayed away. But I definitely want to read it one day, and hopefully that will be in 2025. And the author actually wrote a very famous New York bestseller book, which is called The Wife Between Us, and that is why I got this one. I haven't read The Wife Between Us, but I know that was so popular that I wanted to get this at the time, and it is by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pickend. And then lastly, because I feel like everyone at least once in their life should read a book of this category, and that is none other than a very popular book around the world that has been read so many times by numerous people. That is just your Bible. And I'm Catholic, so I did pick this up at the Vatican whenever I went last year, and I thought that I should actually start reading it and not just have it out as decor. So currently I am going through 1984 in the Bible. Two different worlds, two different extremes, but that is what I am working through. And this being such, a long read, or like a read that you kind of have to, sit down and reflect on, I don't think I can read this in an entire month, but I do think I can hopefully read it throughout the year and finish it in 2025. I don't know, maybe 2026. But those are my books, and I do have a reading wish list, but I'm not going to be buying any books until I start finishing at least half of these, because it is, with this being 2 books in one, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Bible. So definitely a lot of pages to be flipped in a 2025. And I don't think I'm gonna be a booktuber, because I just feel like you need a lot of free time to be able to review as many books and be as productive in those sort of categories. I don't think I can read more than 2 books at a given time, because I will feel overwhelmed or start crossing some of the material. I might do a community post every now and then of whenever I either finish a book, kind of give my little summary on it, or whenever I purchase a new book, if that's something you're interested in. Again, I know my channel is really not targeted to that, but this is something that I'm gonna be doing, behind closed doors. Like, it's gonna be a part of me, just so much so because I gotta start learning. I gotta start using my brain, right? Not just have my eyes do all the reading and the learning for me through social media and just consuming content. That is one change that I want to do that probably is not what you were thinking this video was going to be about. In 2023, my husband and I did what I would consider a sort of successful challenge. This was a money saving challenge. I think we did good. We didn't do it again for 2024, but I kind of want to do it, or at least some version of it, in 2025 as well. So what we did in 2023 was we withdrew money every single Sunday. We started with $300 every week for 6 weeks, and then we went up to $400 every week. I think we might have done that for 5 weeks, because we found that it was easy. It was an easy goal, that we wanted it to be a little bit more of a challenge. So we went up to $500 a week for, I think we only did that 3 weeks or so, and then $600, and then $700, and we did $800 I think 2 or 3 weeks, because the challenge at that point in time to withdraw that much money every week, alongside doing your regular spending of your utilities, your mortgage, your insurance, food, just living, going to the movies, doing things like that, and having a savings challenge on the side, it did get aggressive and tight for us in particular. So that is where we capped it. We capped it at $800 per week. And because we didn't have a rubric of what the challenge was, we were just doing non-order set of week clusters that we were withdrawing the money, we ended up with $15,300, or it might have been $15,600, something along those lines, something really fun. And it was just a challenge to prove ourselves and hold ourselves accountable. And honestly, I tried doing that at the start of 2024, but it was just me doing the challenge that I quickly stopped. I started at $200 per week, and I stopped at $600 total, meaning not even past January. That's where my savings challenge ended. So I would like to do it for 2025, and it wasn't for anything in particular. It was just a fun activity that we set ourselves out to do. If this is something that you are looking into doing, let me know what is your savings goal or what is the plan that you're gonna follow, and maybe I can join that as well, because again, our last challenge didn't really have a strict rubric. It was just like save, right? I don't know, maybe I can do a money goal. Maybe I can do like save $10,000. And again, it doesn't have to go towards anything in particular. It's just for the sake of doing something that you don't have to do, but you're doing it because it's a good thing for you. You know what I mean? So let me know your thoughts on a money savings challenge down below. I mentioned makeup. Let me just start there. Beauty is something that I spent a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of money. Like if I tally everything down, it's probably not gonna be an immense number of cash spent on makeup, but I felt like I was just consuming a lot pretty regularly, and a lot of the items that I was getting are things that I don't really go through as often. Like for example, an eyebrow pencil to do my eyebrows would be something that would last me about maybe like 6 weeks to 2 months if I am doing my makeup pretty regularly, or of course much longer if I'm just doing my makeup like on the weekends. I do work from home, so there's that. I was just buying for the sake of buying, to be quite honest, and so I need to cut back, and my goal for makeup is literally spend only $100 in 2025. That is insane, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna try to stick to it, because I believe that whatever I have in my collection currently can take me through most of the year. I know it's not gonna take me through the entire year, but I am gonna try to use up everything that I have, because mascaras, I have mascaras to last me through the year. You're supposed to toss them out every 3 months. I have new tubes that is literally perfect for 2025. And I also do have mini and travel size mascaras to work through, so that's also like a little buffer for me. So I'm gonna go through the categories of what I have so that you can also look into your collection and be honest with yourself. If this is a goal that you also have, let's be each other's accountability partner. Let me know down below what is the category that you want to cut off, and you don't have to cut makeup altogether. Maybe you just love lipstick and you realize that you have plenty, or whatever color range that you do already own satisfies your looks that you do, then perfect. No more lipsticks for you, or maybe just do 1 or 2, right? Or as you finish a lipstick tube, buy a new one or something like that. But not so much going to the makeup store to buy just for the sake of having funds to spend, or because it's pretty, or because, I don't know, TikTok is saying that this is the best My Lips But Better shade or something like that. I don't personally have TikTok, but I know TikTok drives a lot of sales when it comes to just about everything, from beauty, travel, home decor, food, shoes. Maybe it even influences music. I don't know. Again, I don't have a TikTok. If that's you, let's do this challenge together. Again, mine is very aggressive, of literally buying only $100 worth of makeup, and I like to go to Sephora and Ulta. $100 does not take you far. It just doesn't. So I will for sure be using a coupon, maybe my points that I have within my accounts, or maybe even participate in a beauty savings event where I can maybe get my foundation for half off when I do run out. I should be set. I should be good. And who knows, maybe by the end of the year I might realize that maybe I don't like using a full face of makeup anymore, and I want to go just BB cream and simple. I don't know. We shall see. I think it'll be fun to go through all of these products and be able to showcase them, do a final review on maybe an empties video, just to kind of realize that it would be money well spent at that point in time, because I would have used the entire product. So think about your collection in this way. I don't have a huge collection with makeup, beauty, skincare, and even hair care, but this is an area that can be very costly, and a lot of it purchased at a rapid speed or very constantly definitely does add up. And the only common denominator is that time, right? We won't have enough time to be able to use everything, 1, before it expires, and 2, before we even fall out of love with that particular style, product, or stage in life. As far as my luxury wish list, I can probably go into detail as to what exactly I want for 2025 or beyond, but at a high level, I was able to cross off a good amount of things from my wish list, and that for one thing is a blessing, and two, that was just me kind of being hyper focused on what it is that I want, and I want to try to do that again for 2025 because it's just better to buy whenever you really do want it. You really have been waiting or anticipating X purchase. It kind of makes it a little bit more special, I feel like, right? It's not just about just having the means and just doing it, because I feel like for a lot of people, those sort of purchases tend to turn into regrets quite quickly, or something that they might want to resell and then just take a loss. And at the end of the day, a loss still equals money. And me personally, I am very slow at adding luxury handbags into my collection, just because I know, for one, they are not investments. I made a video long ago about the net worth of my luxury collection, which is just, SLGs and handbags, that I'll link down below in case you do want to take a look and see that whole topic of handbags being investments or not. For me in 2025, I really do want to add a Chanel. Now, I do think about this a lot because I hear about the quality, I hear about the pricing, I hear about the aftercare and how the items wear nowadays. And for me, preferably, I would like it to be a brand new item because it's so expensive, right? Like, I would like to know what has happened to the bag from the very start, right? Obviously, I can't see the production side of things, but once the item is actually crafted. So just as a spoiler, alongside other things in the luxury space, I am gonna really try to strive for a Chanel bag this year. And don't take it as I'm cutting from beauty to spend over here, because I can technically do both, or I can technically buy Chanel today. But again, for me, purchases are long lasting and worthwhile and a little bit more appreciated whenever they're meaningful purchases or for a purpose. But again, that's just me and how I look at purchasing luxury. Yes, I would like to have endless cap of money and buy where I can have a rainbow worth of handbags that will literally go with every shade of green, purple, black, gray, every blue, within my collection for my wardrobe. But honestly, that's just not where I stand today. Hopefully in the future, but even then, like, that would just mean mental clutter also, because you have to dust it, you have to clean the bags, you need to take care of the bags, watch out for that brick corner, make sure you don't rub that edge against there, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, if I am rich, then I probably have a different mindset as to how to take care of things, or wear and tear sort of things. I don't know. I guess if you're rich and watching this, how do you manage to take care of your things, or how do you go about using them? I am a believer in just using the items and enjoying them. That is me also, but I'm also trying to be careful too. In 2024, I made 0 Louis Vuitton purchases of new items. I did buy a pre-owned Louis Vuitton bag, but I usually always buy something. At least in recent years, I had been purchasing at least one brand new item from Louis Vuitton for a while now. It was a little bit interesting in 2024 because that didn't really happen. I thought I was just going to buy a bag maybe every month or every other month, and we were going to have a nice collection, but it just didn't play out that way. And again, it's just me being a little bit more cautious, a little bit more mindful of what's worth it versus what's not. And don't get me wrong, I love Louis Vuitton as a brand. I've had a great experience, or actually I have given them money because I did do repairs. So I guess you can count that as something spent at Louis Vuitton, because it technically was something spent, but I didn't get a brand new item into my collection. I did refurbish one, but they're a little bit different, but yet same. I don't know. So hopefully, and not that this is a good thing or a bad thing either, but in 2025, I would like to make one purchase at least. Again, there are some things within my wish list from Louis Vuitton that I would like to own, and with the Takashi Murakami multicolor collection releasing, there's so much cuteness that hopefully I can get something. And yes, I do think about it. Obviously, if you haven't learned anything, I am just sinking in my thoughts here. I do think that it might be borderline childish. There was a bag from Dooney & Burke that I had way before I could afford luxury, and it was literally in a white canvas with a multicolor that Dooney & Burke had, and it's this bag right here. This is not my bag, this is just one that I pulled off the internet, but it was the exact bag that I had that I thought was cute, and I did sell it for like $30. Like, but it was such a beautiful bag. I had a baby blue glazing on the side. The zipper pull had this big pink heart that said Dooney & Burke on one side, and on the other side it was just plain gold, and it was just a girly little bag, and it actually resembles the pochette accessoires. Pochette accessoires from Louis Vuitton is a style that I love, and I don't know if it's because of the Dooney & Burke bag, but it's just one that I really like. It's slim, it's for any occasion basically. That bag also had natural vachetta leather. I had a spot like this big on there because one day I was sitting at the doctor's office and I was picking at like my finger and it started to bleed. So I got like a tissue and I had like a water cup. So I grabbed an ice from there and I put it there, and I was resting my finger on top of the bag and the ice started melting, and that's how I got the water spots. And that is where I learned about the vachetta and the water. It's like a whole mind blown moments, right? But yes, I don't know if it's also that Dooney & Burke bag that's calling me into the multicolor, or what's happening, or what will happen. But whatever the case is, I am not done with luxury. There are things that I would like to get, even though I am well aware that the conversation of luxury is gone, it's outdated, it's overrated. Like, they are just charging you more than what you need to for whatever it is. I 100% know that. Honestly, I think everyone's still gonna want something luxurious in their life, right? Whether it's something just better than what they have currently. Something so simple like, why do we go from buying at, I guess because I like makeup, let's talk about makeup, buying a drugstore lipstick to buying a Dior lipstick, or a Chanel lipstick, a Prada lipstick, or what is Hermes, I think is pretty up there in price too, like an Hermes lipstick. Why do we do that, right? Because it's that unattainable object, right? That we are finally here, like we made it, we got it. It's that sort of feeling that I feel like luxury is still gonna be around regardless of what stage you're in, what's happening in the world. It's gonna be a thing in one way or another. It might not necessarily be what it is today all the time, but there will always be some form of luxury that we're gonna want to aspire to have at some point in time, right? This happens a lot with traveling. I mean, if you never thought you could go to X place and now you have the opportunity to, like, it's that sort of moment, right? I feel like I'm spilling some sort of wisdom. It's a whole different side of me showing through, and I don't know, maybe it will be a different me in 2025. Down below, let me know what are some habits you are looking to break, and what are you going to be doing or changing to in 2025. I know that it's going to be, depending on the actual goal that you set for yourself, it might be a challenge, but with anything, once you achieve it or cross it off your list, there's so much satisfaction that comes from that. It's kind of like working out, how you feel like, oh my god, yes, it was tough, but we got through. I feel like it's that same sort of feeling. So do let me know down below, what are some habits that you're going to be stopping, and what are you going to be doing or changing to, or if there's any other challenge that you do want to focus on for 2025, do share that down below. I want to thank you so very much for first getting through this entire video, because it's so much different than any other content that I have in my channel, and I want to thank you so very much for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.